What is up, my individuals? Drexler here. Really appreciate all you guys tuning in to today's video. Today I want to discuss with you guys 5 life lessons that I learned in my 20s. Now I know I'm still in my 20s, I just turned 27 last week, but coming kind of near like the end of my 20s, I've learned quite a lot. And I know I have quite a lot more to learn as well. In fact, today I just learned something like revolutionary to me that I will be discussing in some upcoming content. However, that's what I believe life is truly all about. In my opinion, I believe it's all about growing, and it's about taking it all in and just learning from your experiences. So with 27 years of life under my belt, I know I've got a lot to learn, but I also know that I've learned so much as well. Now, kicking it off with the first life lesson that I've really had to learn over the last few years, and that is enjoying the little things. Now, this is actually something from a movie called Zombieland that I watched, and I'm sure you guys have heard this term before, but it's definitely something that I think we should all really apply to our lives. In this day and age, I feel like nobody really knows how to enjoy the little things. We're always worried about what's next. Sometimes I admit I even get caught up in what's next, What are we gonna do next? What are we gonna eat next? When's the next Yeezy shoe coming out? Everyone's so focused on what's next, what's the next thing, what's the next big thing? And the internet and social media and all that is so good at getting us excited for the next thing to come. And though it is cool to get excited for things and get excited for the future, I think it's just as important, if not more important, to also enjoy the moment that you're currently in. Enjoy what you have, enjoy what you are doing at the moment. I'm sure you guys have all heard the term the good old days. Everybody wants to go back to those good old days, but what we never seem to realize is the moments that we are living right now, these are the good old days. 20 years from now, when we look back, we're gonna be saying the same thing. Oh man, I wish I could go back to the good old days, what we're currently living right now. So I encourage you guys to enjoy every little moment. Even the moments that don't seem so big and so glamorous, I believe the little moments are some of the most beautiful moments that we always take for granted. My favorite movie of all time is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And there's a specific scene where Sean O'Connell, who's played by Sean Penn, he's a photographer in the movie, and Walter Mitty is actually with him. Walter Mitty's played by Ben Stiller. They're both on this mountain, and Sean O'Connell has his camera up in front of him, and he has a clear shot of this snow leopard, this beautiful snow leopard. And Sean Penn sits there and he decides to not take the picture. And confused, Walter Mitty looks at him and he's like, when are you gonna take the picture? And so Sean O'Connell simply replied,
if I like a moment, me, personally, I don't like to have the distraction of the camera. I just want to stay in it.
Stay in it?
Yeah, right there. Right here.
Now, the second thing that I want to discuss today is creating a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Now, creating healthy habits are so important because these are the things that determine your physical, emotional, and mental health. These are the habits that actually improve your overall well-being and make you feel good about yourself. I have so many friends and family that are just so unbalanced when it comes to their overall just well-being. And I personally think that it's so important to dedicate a little of yourself to every area of your life. For example, I have a friend that works extremely hard on his business. And that's really good, building your own brand up and stuff like that. However, he really lacks when it comes to eating healthy, working out, reading positive development books, or even just going outside and being around other people. And to me, this is something, and I don't mean to like toot my own horn or anything, but this is something that I've always been pretty good at ever since my early 20s, is just staying committed and to stay consistent with all things in all areas of my life. Making time for family and friends, making time every single day to work out, making sure that I'm getting my meals in all day long so that way I'm staying healthy, I'm staying in a good positive mind state, reading every day, spending time with my wife, making sure I'm taking her out on dates once or twice a week, and all that. And the last thing also that you guys, I would encourage you not to do is put off creating a good, healthy habit. I know so many people that, and I'm sure you guys know so many people as well. You might even have said this yourself. I for sure have said this myself in my past, and that's, oh, I'll just wait till the new year to start my new fitness regimen, or I'll start this at this time in my life. We always put off and hold off on certain things, and we wait till a specific date to start them. And once that time comes, you start working out real hard, and you get your diet all locked in, and you're eating your meals and stuff like that. But what always happens after a few weeks, when life hits you, you fall off track. And see, that's where I think a lot of people mess up, is they think that working out is something that they have to add to their schedule, or they think that it's just another thing to add to the plate, when in actuality it's something that should just be a part of your lifestyle. You should know that every day you will spend this amount of time working, this amount of time working out, this amount of time reading. And so with that said, in reality, living a good, healthy lifestyle is simply just creating some good habits and staying on schedule with them every single day. Number 3, don't overthink things. Now, when I was younger, I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but I grew up making music and touring, doing shows and stuff like that with my brother. And I remember like every business meeting we had, whether it was with like a producer or even if it was just with our management team, I just remember always being so nervous. Sometimes, and I don't think I've ever actually said this on camera before, it's something I've always kind of been embarrassed about and only my family knows, but sometimes before meetings and a lot of the times before shows, I would throw up because I would get just so sick and so overwhelmed that I couldn't stomach anything anymore, and I would throw up. I remember we had a meeting with Sony one time. We actually went into the building and talked with them because they were looking at signing us and everything, and I just remember being so worked up, so nervous. I remember even going on dates when I was younger, just hanging out with a girl, I'd be so nervous and just so overwhelmed. Anyways, as time went on, I started to realize that all those meetings and the dates and stuff that I would go on, it all wasn't like that big of a deal as I was making it. And now looking back, I wish I could just tell my younger self just to relax, dude, like everything's gonna be okay. I was always just overthinking and stressing out, and even to this day sometimes I get these thoughts in my head. A lot of the times I do actually. It's just not as intense as it used to be, and honestly all this stress and all this worry did nothing besides just get me all worked up. Because after my meetings, after my dates, they would usually all go very well. Like I usually never had a problem once I was in it. And I realize now that not everything's that big of a deal. Like everybody messes up. Everybody says dumb stuff, everybody says cringy things, everybody just does dumb things. Like you're not the only one who does or says something stupid. Everybody has their moments of just stupidness. Number 4, stay in constant learning mode. Now I remember when I was like 15 or 16 years old, my mom, she actually forced me to read a personal development book. She didn't really force me. She paid me. She paid me $100 to read it. So I was like a teenager, and $100 to me was like, dude, that was a lot of money. So I was like, of course I'm gonna read this thing. So like every other teenager, I didn't like reading, but I did it for the money. And so when I read it, I finished it within like a week, and it actually like opened up my mind on a lot of things. And after I read it, I thought I was like the wisest dude ever. I thought I was like Buddha or something with all this knowledge and wisdom. My mind state was like stupid after. I was literally like, ain't nobody could tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. When in actuality, I knew nothing. I really didn't know much. I read one book, like come on. And so I think it's important as a full-blown adult to always just be in a constant learning mode. Realize that you always have a lot more to grow. Realize that you can always learn new things. That's how you stay relevant. That's how you stay fresh. My dad is a perfect example of that. He's 50, about to turn 57, and you'd probably think he's just in his 40s. Like people trip out on his age, not just because he looks good, but because he stays working out. He stays growing. He's always teaching me new things about what he read, and that's what's so cool about him. And he stays updated on fashion, he stays updated with all the newest trends and clothes like me. And so we kind of feed off of each other as far as all that goes. And one of the things that my dad always says, no matter what age he is, he always says, I'm 56 years young. He never says I'm 56 years old. He hates that word old, you know, so he likes to stay youthful, and I think that's really cool. Number 5, admitting when you are wrong. Now, this is especially important if you are a father. You know, one of the most important things for a child to see is their parents humbling themselves and admitting when they are wrong. Now, I just watched Matilda the other night. I've never seen it before. I know what the movie is, but I've never seen it. And it's actually one of my wife's favorite movies, so she had me watch it, and I really enjoyed it. And there was something kind of profound in that movie. And it was the role that Danny DeVito played. He played the father of Matilda. And one of the main things that made this guy, and even the mom, one of the main things that made these parents so horrible is that they never admitted when they were wrong. They had literally no humility whatsoever. There's actually a line that Danny DeVito said in the movie to Matilda, and it was something like, "I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm big, you're little, I'm right, you're wrong." That's what he told his daughter. And it's actually crazy because a lot of parents actually do this in real life. It's crazy. I've seen it happen before. It's just that whole thing of I'm the parent, so what I say goes. And I mean, that is true. I mean, if you're living under your parents' rule, under their house, then you honor your parents, of course. But I do see so many parents that parent wrong, and they do that thing, such as, they don't give their child an opportunity to kind of speak for themselves and to be able to give their opinion as well. And so I see parents that just say, I'm right, you're wrong, that's it, end of story. And I think there's something powerful when a parent lets their child be able to speak, and say what's on their mind, not in a mean or disrespectful way, of course, but to actually let them share their feelings as well. That's what my parents did for me, and it really shaped me into the man I am today, being able to express my feelings, and now I'm able to bring that into my marriage. And that's why me and my wife have such a healthy marriage, is because we're able to talk about everything. I never go to her and say, I'm the man of the house, what I say goes. That's not how things work. We both have a voice in our marriage, and we both love to talk things out, attack our problems rather than attacking each other. And I believe that's just that's something that should be in every relationship and friendship. I believe that's what will keep things very, very healthy. Now, of course, there's so much more I could add to this video, you guys. I mean, if I really sat down and wrote down a list of everything I've learned, I could go on and on. I could hit 100 different points. So I do have some other things in mind. I will showcase and talk about them in an upcoming video. So for those of you that want to stick around and hear a little bit more from my heart, be sure to hit the notifications button so I can inform you when that video drops. So with that said, I will stop here, and I will definitely continue this topic in a upcoming video very soon here. So with that said, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a nice big thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. My name is Drexler. Shaka bra.